I, Hana Afriza, will present arguments from both the government and opposition sides on the motion. This House would let the government fully own and manage all public transportation in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable educators, today I proudly stand on the government side to firmly support the motion. I believe that public transportation is a basic need that should be provided fairly and equally to all Indonesians. Currently, many people still face difficulties accessing safe, reliable, and affordable transportation. That's why I believe the government should fully own and manage it. Right now, public transport is run by both government and private operators. This creates several problems. The first is inconsistent fair prices. Then second is uneven quality of service. Then the third, focus only on profitable areas, mostly in cities. And then the fourth, rural areas often lack good access. And then the last is safety and vehicle maintenance are unreliable. I propose that the Indonesian government take full ownership and control of all public transportation service. That means the first is all transport system like bus, trains, and angkot will be owned and managed by the state. And the second is the government will regulate routes, safety, and pricing. And the third, the focus will shift from profit to public service. And the last is a national agency will coordinate all regions and cities. Our arguments are as follows. The first is full ownership, ensure equal access for all citizens. With government control, transportation can reach even the most remote or less developed areas. This means that regardless of income level or geographic location, every Indonesian will have access to reliable transportation service. In contrast, private companies tend to focus only on profitable routes, especially in urban centers, and often neglect rural areas because they see no financial gain. The government, however, has a duty to serve the public interest, not just profit. The second, safety and maintenance will significantly improve when the transportation system is fully managed by the government. There will be stricter safety standards and consistent regulation applied across the country. Vessels can undergo regular inspection, staff can receive uniform and professional training, and infrastructure can be maintained more efficiently. This leads to a more reliable and secure transportation system that the public can trust. The third, this policy supports Indonesian long-term environmental goals. Through full ownership, the government can take the lead in transitioning to electric vehicles, promoting the use of renewable energy and reducing carbon emission. Private companies may avoid such change due to high initial costs, but the government can prioritize sustainability over short-term profit. This is a vital step toward combating climate change and ensuring a healthier environment for future generations. Fourth, full government control will create new jobs and stimulate the national economy. Expanding and maintaining a comprehensive publicly owned transport system will require a wide range of skilled and unskilled workers, from drivers, engineers, and technicians to cleaners, planners, and administrative staff. This not only opens up more employment opportunities for Indonesians, but also encourages economic growth through public investment and infrastructure development. In the long term, it helps reduce unemployment and strengthen national capacity. Rebuttals. Opposition may say the government is inefficient or corrupt, but with digital monitoring, transparency, policies, and public involvement, we can reduce corruption and increase efficiency. They may also argue that private companies bring innovation. However, the government can also partner with tech developers and create innovation units to improve service. Lastly, they'll say it's too expensive, but public transportation is an investment. It reduces traffic, pollution, and helps people be more productive, which brings long-term savings. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable adjudicators, today I stand as part of the opposition side and firmly reject the motion. I agree that public transport is important. However, I disagree that the government should fully control it. Full government ownership brings risks of inefficiency, corruption, and lack of innovation. Instead of total control, the government should improve the current system. Today, public transport is managed by both public and private actors. Yes, there are problems, but many private services have introduced. The first is online booking system, and then second is route integration, and the third is better customer service, and then the fourth is fast response to public needs. We don't need to remove them, we need to regulate and support them better. I propose a hybrid solution. The first is the government continues managing some service, and the second is private companies remain allowed to operate, and the third is government provides subsidies for less profitable areas, and then the fourth strengthen regulation and create national digital integration system like one card payment or app tracking. Our arguments are as follows. The first is private operators bring competition, which leads to better quality and lower prices. We have seen this with ride hailing apps like Gojek and Grab when multiple companies compete for customers. They are motivated to provide better service, innovate, and keep prices affordable. Without competition. There's little incentive to improve, and consumers suffer the consequences. In fact, innovation in ad features, promotion, and customer support often comes from this competitive drive. And second, the government already has many responsibilities: education, health, infrastructure. Adding full control of public transportation to that list will only overload that system and reduce overall efficiency. It risks creating chaos, mismanagement, and red tape. Public institutions often move slowly due to bureaucracy and could hinder urgent improvement in transportation. Instead, the government should act as a regulator, setting rules and ensuring fairness, not ruining every aspect of the system. And the third is centralization increases the risk of corruption. If only one agency controls everything, it concentrates too much power in one place, and as we know, power without checks can lead to abuse. On the other hand, with multiple independent operators and transparent regulation, it is easier to detect misconduct, promote ethical practice, and ensure that no single group has too much influence over a critical service like transportation. And then the fourth is the cost is massive. Buying all the vehicles, paying all the salaries, and building the infrastructure needed for a centralized system would require an enormous amount of funding. Where will that money come from? Most likely from taxpayers of goods in other essential sectors. This could divert resources away from urgent areas like healthcare, education, and poverty reduction. Private investment can ease the burden, allowing the government to allocate its funds more effectively while still overseeing standard and safety. Rebuttals. They say government ownership gives equal access, but that can also be achieved with target subsidies and regional development programs without removing private service. They argue for green transportation, but private companies are already innovating with electric vehicles. The government just needs to give incentive, not take over. They claim it will be more integrated, but digital technology already allows integration between different providers. We can use tech to solve this, not total government control. That concludes the opposition's argument. Thank you.